My kit is, I'll set it up here on the floor. I have a piece of plexiglass for a pallet. This wooden pallet died a long ago. Talking about a pallet, this is the pallet I had for about 7 years, you guys, and I love it. There are certain general things like in art that we talk about, like colors, as space recedes, colors get softer, grayer, blah, 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 that kind of stuff. You know, with a limited palette, I don't care how advanced you think you are as an artist, the more limited your palette, the stronger your paint is going to be. I don't use any secondary or tertiary colors in my palette, which is great because it saves money too. I used to paint, at the Art Institute, we had 3 blues, 1 white, no black. We had cadmium yellow light, cadmium yellow deep, cadmium red, alizarin crimson, ultramarine blue, cobalt blue. Cobalt blue in a tube this size is about $100.
Yeah.
Oh, and another thing, don't buy cheap paint.
No.
Don't buy student grade paint. Don't buy cheap paint, because what happens is paint is oil and pigment. Cheap paint is oil, extenders, and pigment. And extenders are neutral. They're no color at all. They're like clay. It's like clay dust. And they add that to give body to the paint. So the cheaper the paint you buy, you're trying to, if you're doing a pink flower, for example, and you just can't get that intense pink, it's always kind of, it's because you probably got a crappy paint. So buy good paint. The brands I recommend, I like this guy because it's American, is Gamblin, and he's up in Washington State. But it's good paint. It's pretty consistent. I've been using German paint the last few years. I tried it and I like it. Lucas, which is
all I use.
Yeah. Rembrandt, Winsor Newton, all those are good paint. Buy good paint. Don't buy cheap stuff. Now, my palette. I got rid of all the blues. Cobalt, I used it for years. Cobalt, cerulean, and ultramarine were my blues at the Art Institute. And then that was it, titanium white. So I had 3 yellows, 3 blues, titanium white. And I used that for a long time, but it didn't work great for me. About 10 years ago, I discovered what's more important on your palette than just the colors, or as important, is transparent and opaque paint. Transparent colors make better darks. They recede. They make holes. They're dark. Opaque colors make better lights. So, I have on my palette, and I'll lay it out for you, I have 2 whites. I have titanium white, and I think you can get all this stuff in watercolor and acrylic as well. I have this is zinc white, I'm sorry. I have zinc white because it's transparent. It doesn't have the power. Well, how's that important? Oh man, you can make beautiful admixtures without chalking them out. And it's like a pearl. Clyde Aspavig's one who got me using this. I don't know if you're familiar with his work. Google Clyde Aspavig. He's probably, since Richard Smith died, he's probably the greatest living landscape painter in America, is Aspavig.
So you're looking at
he lives up in Montana.
An opaque white.
Yeah, it's good.
Okay.
Aspevig. My other white is titanium white. Yeah. So it's titanium and zinc. And the reason titanium is the opaque white, it's the one that has that strength, that power. And then next on my palette, I put my yellow. I put white, yellow, and I have 1 yellow. No, I got 2 yellows. What am I saying? This is Cadmium Yellow Lemon.
Okay.
And I use it as my light yellow. And it's opaque. Where's it at? Oh. My other yellow is Indian yellow, which is very transparent. So, Indian yellow is an interesting color. I love synthetics. Indian yellow was banned for years because it was made in India by force-feeding cattle mango leaves. And the mango leaves made their urine really intense. And they made the paint from the cattle urine. And so, paint's made from bugs, from minerals. lapis lazuli is what they make ultramarine blue from. And so that's why it's not super cheap. Cobalt, during World War II, the Japanese were making a lot of glassware for America, like Vicks bottles.
Yeah.
And we were sending them cobalt, and they were taking the cobalt and hoarding it off because they didn't have it as a natural resource and using it to make their bombs. So we were bombed with our own cobalt. So I have an opaque yellow, transparent yellow. For my reds. Oh, and by the way, the Indian yellow now is synthetic, so there's no cow pee in it. But it was harmful to the cows. It was hard on them, but it was popular with artists. It's a beautiful. Look at that color. It's a beautiful, strong. Makes great greens. My red is Lucas red, which is equivalent to a cadmium red. It's a little redder. Look kind of like a Porsche red.
Yeah.
So that's my opaque red. My transparent red is Alizuran Permanent. And you want to watch Alizuran Crimson is what we call a fugitive color. It fades over time. And so you don't want to use Alizuran Crimson. Use Alizuran Permanent. And all the manufacturers have it. And it's my transparent red. Now my blue, it took me years to find a blue that satisfied me. Because, like I said, cobalt blue, my God, it's expensive. And the problem with cerulean blue is it's a little yellowish. And so it can get a little muddy, a little dirty when you're trying to do that sky color.
Yeah.
I'm using Thalo Blue.
Oh.
And it's the only blue I have on my palette. Thalo Blue, it's semi-transparent, so it kind of fits the bill of being opaque and transparent at the same time. But it's a really warm blue.
That's it.
And it's worked really well for me. My last color is Paynes Grey, which is the art institute that has shot you down at gray. But I use it to tint, and it doesn't muddy the colors. Another way you can take a color down is add complements. So in other words, if you've got a red and you want to make it a little grayer, not quite so red, you add green. Well, the problem with that is it muddies it just a little bit. But if you've got a red you want to take down, Paynes Grey. And so Paynes Grey is also semi-opaque. It's not transparent, it's not opaque. And so this is my palette, you guys. And like I say, it's taken me 50 years to get to this palette. But those three paintings in the other room are an example of this palette. They were all done with this palette. So it's very simple. Look at this. We've got 8 colors, 8 colors. I had a buddy that I used to paint with, do plein air. And I had already had my block in done before he had his palette laid out. He had so many colors on it. Seriously. I think he had 23, 24 colors. And then you got to buy all the colors. And so I really recommend, if you don't want to use these colors, I recommend being conscious of transparent opaque.
Okay.
Now, how do you know about colors? I ought to get commission from these guys. If you want to spend $40, this book is a Bible for painting. It's been around. This is the fifth print. This is I think they got a 6th edition out now. But it's called Ralph Mayer's Artist Handbook. And there's virtually, it's like Johnny Carson, anything in the world you want to know about painting is in this book. It's all in here. What colors are fugitive, what ones are permanent, what colors are transparent, what colors are not. I mean, it's got everything. If you're searching for a guide to do, this book is great. I've had this book since my college days. It was recommended in the painting department.
Wow.